Hi, I'm Kay Barlow, and this is my dog, beautiful Bessie Barlow. Bessie got her name in the upstairs bathroom. It came to me, I thought, as a suggestion from my grandmother. That's the way it is when you live in a house that was part of your childhood. Bessie's journey here began with a postcard on a veterinarian's bulletin board. It was the last day of my beloved Pepper's life. And this little postcard advertised intelligent lab puppies. So Bessie was born December 15, and she came to live with me at the beginning of February. And today is her 11th month birthday. Yeah, you're going to stay right here, Bessie. And next month, she'll turn a year old. From the day I brought her home, we started playing fetch. Sometimes outside with a whistle, sometimes up and down the stairs because of exuberance, energy, and needing to get rid of some of it. And sometimes, and most of the time, from the kitchen, long throws into the piano room. And Bessie is a wonderful fetcher. She gives me enthusiasm and laughter and a lot of exuberance. I bake dog cookies, and this morning I made a new batch. They're little pieces about the size of a wheat thin, and Bessie will do anything. I break them into 1/4 of an inch, and she makes any transition she needs to make for one of these. They're one of her favorite things. Bessie and I have had quite the journey together these past months. I had very high ideals about canine companionship and high expectations for myself and for Bessie, and that I could train her to be a really special dog the way that my dog Pepper had been trained. So I trained her to a blanket. She always has her blankie. And I've tried a lot of other things, but the problem was that Bessie was a ferocious puppy, just absolutely ferocious. My clothes were torn to shreds. I was scratched and bitten. My arms were just bites. My legs were all bites. And Bessie was the most aggressive puppy I have ever dealt with. Anytime she became, anything would overstimulate her. And she became ferocious, jumping me, biting me. Sometimes I had to lay on top of her and talk soothing talk and rub her belly. This is why we were outside trying to take a walk, and I could get her calm enough to come back to the house. Sometimes I would cut through the barn, and then that would be a distraction being inside the barn, and we would be able to make it back to the house. It was quite the puppyhood. There were 2 interventions on the part of my daughters about Mom and her puppy, and people were very concerned for my safety. And I had to promise that I would do some things. One was to get a break from it and hire somebody. And so for a while I had a boy who came and ran her. And she got some excess energy out that way. And she's been to some trainers who've helped me learn how to deal with her, and I'm sort of getting better. And I also studied what was the problem. I took her knowing that she had an overbite, so I kept talking to the vet about her overbite. I want you to stay right where you are. And when she was spayed, he was able to look in her mouth and see the problem was that her lower fangs were digging into her upper palate. And so at 8 months old, Bessie had surgery and nerves were removed and those fangs were cut off. So her bottom fangs sort of look like molars now, but our life is a lot better. She's a lovely, lovely dog. She's still my 60-pound exuberant puppy. We get out in nature. We're out there taking our walks and playing ball and laughing and talking. She gives me daily rhythms and routines and someone to care for, someone to love. She keeps me on my toes because anything I use and don't put away immediately gets chewed. Yeah, I'm Bessie's protector. I provide food and shelter, security and safety. She does the same for me with her big body and her deep bark and her cough. Uh-oh, that cookie went down the wrong way, didn't it? Are you okay? Huh? Almost every day we take a ride in the car. It's something we began when a ride in the car was the only way I had to soothe her. Bessie eats everything besides her cookies. She loves fruit, and she can pick berries off the bush, grapes off the vine. When I'm in the kitchen cooking, she comes and sits on my feet, and then she leans very heavily into my shins, just in case I didn't know she was there. If I move, she moves. She's quite the companion. When my beloved dog Pepper died last November, I wrote an obituary for her because she was beloved for many, many, many piano students. And so I sort of announced her death. And in that process, I came across a quote by George Eliot. Love is the noblest expression of our humanity. It is also one of the bonds that links us with other living creatures. Love is a form of symbiosis, the joining of separate organisms in the service of a greater life. In my life, it has been music that has provided more connection than perhaps words. And because I'm familiar with subjective, nonverbal communication through music, I am particularly grateful for my loving symbiotic relationship with Bessie. In many ways, I saved her from a very painful life, and she saved me. When COVID-19 brought me to an abrupt retirement, Bessie filled my days with routine, challenges, and love.